What is good, YouTube? I'm gonna give y'all another video for the night. We gonna talk about Jabari Parker. I made a video a couple months ago when he was in the trade rumors to get DeAndre Jordan to go down there with Big Giannis before the trade deadline. But one thing I say is that Jabari Parker had really impressed a lot of people. Um, in the playoff series against Boston. Obviously, I'm a Boston Celtics fan, but I do live near Milwaukee. And at the end of the day, the funny thing about it is Jabari tried harder defensively. He played a little bit more consistent than he usually do offensively. Jabari Parker never been a bad offensive player. I don't think that any of us will say that even from high school into college. He obviously came in the league scoring a lot of baskets before he tore his ACL. He came back and became even more explosive. It looked like he was more hungrier and more explosive when he came back from the first ACL tear. He ended up injuring it again. But remember, Jabari Parker is a guy that came in and averaged 12 and was getting better each month of the season to me. Came back the next year, averaged 14 on good efficiency from the field from every season. He never been a great three-point shooter even in college, but he's a respectable one. The thing about Jabari Parker, he's a mid-range scorer, an old school scorer, a guy that likes to post up, a guy that likes to pull up in the high post, a guy that likes to dribble and get to the basket and get to the free throw line. The main reason why Jabari free throw numbers are so low is because he doesn't take that many. The most three-point shots he ever took in a season was only 3.5, and that was in his third season where he averaged 20 points a game. But he did only play 50 games that he started. He played 51 games, he only played 50 of them he started. But he still, after those two ACL tears, was able to shoot 49% three straight seasons, was getting over 30 minutes a game in those seasons combined. He also can rebound the ball. He's a solid playmaker because he draws attention, whether he's going to the basket, playing in the mid to high post, or even just collapsing the defense, driving the basket to the hoop and finding open shooters like Middleton, like Snell, and like Delly. And of course you have Jason Terry and guys like that on his roster that can knock down that three ball. And then he obviously came off the bench this year and averaged 12 points, but he shot 48% from the field and 38% from three and still gave you about 5 rebounds and 2 assists. And that's exactly what you want because he's a 23-year-old. Next year he won't be 24 until March, which is damn near the end of the season. He averaged 10 points against the Celtics, but he didn't get as many shot attempts. The most shot attempts he got in the game was 15, and that's a game that they lost. And the second highest was only 12, where he had 17 points on 58% shooting. He averaged 10 points on 45% shooting, 31 from three. The most threes he took in the game was 7. The second highest is 4, and he shot 61% from the free throw line, 6 rebounds and 1 assist. But he still was finding his groove. He still was finding a niche against Boston. Boston is one of the best defensive teams in the league. They have guys like Tatum and Brown that can guard him, and they're athletic and mobile, so they can really match up good against Jabari. But he had a solid series. And he played harder defensively. He carried a little bit more, and he was proving that he wanted to be great every single season, coming back stronger and better. And he always had a great work ethic. You don't become a number 2 pick without having some type of work ethic and some type of respect from players around you in college, in high school, and in the NBA. We all knew he was going to be one of the better scorers and complete players coming out of college. And for him to hit the pinnacle, averaging 20 points a game in a regular season, playing with a guy like Giannis that likes to handle the ball, and a guy like Chris Middleton that's their second best player, being able to still give you double digits off the bench or as a starter with those two players on the court, show you how dynamic this Bucks team can be. But realistically, giving contracts out to John Henson and Matthew Dellavedova, guys that you don't utilize that much and guys that don't really get that much playing time, can really hurt this team because you did pay Chris Middleton the max he could get at that time. You did offer Giannis $100 million was the max he could get under those years and under that with his accolades. And then on top of that, if you pay Jabari, you start to wonder, do you really realistically want to have a core of Giannis and Middleton and Jabari as your three best players, and one might even come off the bench because sometimes they put Giannis at the four and Middleton at three, which is smart because Giannis is athletic and long and always have a matchup advantage whether he's at the three or the four or the five because he's so quick, so long, lanky, and athletic for his position. And Chris Middleton is a guy that he can play the two and play off the ball, and he's a guy that can post up and knock down the mid-range jumper or the three-point shot. But he's also 6'8", which is about what a small forward should be, 6'8" or higher, so he can play that position. But that makes, if he's going to play that position, that knocks Jabari to the bench, which, as a guy that I'm 23 years old, I'm a guy that averaged 20 points a game. I'm a guy that have shown that I can score the basketball against the best players in the world, and I can do it consistently on an efficient number. And I show possibilities of being a great three-point shooter when I attempt them. I shot 36 and 38% when I shot over 2 threes a game. And those numbers show you like, wow, this guy can play. Wow, this guy is young. Wow, the Bucks got to keep him. But reality is they might become stuck with those three players, and that might not be enough, which we really don't think. They haven't even got out of the first round once since Giannis been there. They obviously won games, but they never won a series. So it makes you do want to think like, would you put 60, 80 million in Jabari Parker, knowing that you're so far away from winning the championship? Plus, you got Eric Bledsoe too, that's taking up a lot of that salary. I think at 15, 16, or 17 million, and it's kind of crazy. But at the end of the day, I'm about to give you five teams other than the Bucks. I gave you reasons why the Bucks should keep Jabari, and obviously the biggest reason why you might not want to give him the max is because he tore his ACL twice. But I also want to give you five teams that should make a run at Jabari Parker and offer him a max contract potentially if that's where they go to, and force Milwaukee to either match the offer or try to re-sign them cheaper. They already discussed a contract. Jabari chose to test free agency. They couldn't come to terms. So that's the only reason why I'm making this video, is because Milwaukee and Jabari is not on the same page when it comes to the numbers that's offered from the side of the Bucks, and the agent and Jabari haven't been able to come to terms. My first team, this might sound a little crazy, but the Indiana Pacers. Having a guy like Victor Oladipo that can play the point or the shooting guard, create for others, knock down a three, create space for other people, kick it out, and be able to score, whether he's spot up, off the dribble, or even in transition, is perfect for Jabari because he gets a lot of deflection. One of the top steals player and one of the more unselfish stars in the league. They need another scorer. They need another person that can help Victor carry the load. When they took Victor out in Cleveland, it was so hard to trust his other teammates because Darren Collison was the guy scoring a lot of points. You don't want to have to rely on a guy like Darren Collison when he's not even a star or a superstar point guard. He's a role-playing point guard. You want a guy like Jabari that can play that three position, that's young, that can grow with that type of player in Victor, and he can create his own shot and keep others involved while still giving you some isolation and some spot up threes every once in a while. And he has the same age gap as Victor, so you can build around these two players. So I think that'd be a good fit for him going to Indiana. He's not too far away from his family in Chicago, and he has another guy that can help him out if he ever goes cold or something goes wrong. Another team I wanted to say is Detroit. They're trying to fight that three guy. I'm a guy that likes Stanley Johnson. He shows potential. He shows hungry. He shows fight. He shows tenacity. But Jabari is a guy that you can count on to give you baskets at a young age too. Plus, he can already score, already play make, and already shoot the three. And he gives you that 6'8" size that can guard the twos or the threes when he wants to. Because Jabari can be a great defender from time to time, but also be a great defender when he wants to be. Because defense is all about effort and energy and wanting it. And Jabari proved that in the Celtics series, but he will have to carry that over every day, every game, if he wants to continue to get paid a lot of money. He has to be potentially a two-way guy, which he's already shown potential that he can be. So I think going to a team like Detroit, when you have a guy like Blake Griffin, Reggie Jackson, other ball handlers, make your job a lot easier because he likes to cut to the basket, get to the rim, and knock down a couple spot up threes. That's something they need to definitely work up on so he can play well with other ball handlers. He's going to have to work on his off the ball game, which wasn't bad in Duke and wasn't bad in Milwaukee, but he needs to do it more if he want to play with other great players and try to win a championship with a more talented team, and you seem to take a sacrifice in Milwaukee coming off the bench. I think he would have to do that if he went to a team like Detroit. Obviously, my fourth team is the Portland Trail Blazers. Maurice Harkless, he's not enough. Al-Farouq Amino may be a stretch four, maybe a modern day four, but he's not good enough. They need another guy that can get their own shot to go well with Nurkic, McCollum, and Damian Lillard. And if they can somehow clear up some space, ask Nurkic to take a little bit of a pay cut, maybe they can fit in enough to offer him $60 million to come to Portland and give them another offensive weapon to go along with Nurkic, McCollum, and Damian Lillard, and finally fill up that three spot that they've been so desperately needing to be filled. And he also can play the four because he has the athleticism and the body. If he needs to play the small ball four, he has the ability to do that. So I think that'll be a good fit for him too. Another fit, and this is the last one to me that he can potentially go to and be a star is New York. They have players like Moutier that they're trying out. They have a superstar potentially in Kristaps Porzingis, and on top of that, they got a guy like Tim Hardaway that can spread out the floor and shoot the three, giving him a little floor space and scoring that post. If you like Michael Beasley, you'll like Jabari Parker. If you New York, the difference is Michael Beasley is way older than a guy like Jabari Parker. Plus, Jabari is not done growing. He's not done developing, and he has a lot more potential. And if I'm New York, I can get a guy like Jabari Parker to go along in his potentially if they want to keep him, and Kristaps and Hardaway and potentially Frank Ntilikina, and we get another pick this year. Maybe you try to fill that three position, or you try to go after Jabari because you have a lot of cap room, and you get a guy that you really need. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think any of those picks will be good for him? Do you think that'd be a good fit, a bad fit? Do you think Jabari is overrated? Do you think he, can't stay healthy? Do you think that those ACL injuries is too scary that you don't even want to match those offers or even, give him a offer sheet because of those injuries? Or you think that Jabari, he's young, he's improving, he's good, he's quality, and he already proved that he can score and play on the NBA level? That, hey, I don't mind giving him a six-man role. I don't mind giving him the max because I see what he already has done when he has been healthy. It's a lot of things that go into this. Obviously, you commit a lot of money to a player, but with the youth and the potential and the scoring ability that he has, he's going to get around $60+ million. And the Bucks is going to be hard for them to match it with Henson, with Dellavedova, and Eric Bledsoe under contract. They're going to have to move some pieces to be able to give him the money that he really wants. And if they're not able to do it, they won't be able to match the offer without clearing the space. But they can go in to the tax line, but Milwaukee don't want to do that. They never even do it anyway. So I'd be surprised if Jabari stays there if somebody offers him the max. That's the whole point of the video. So check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. And let me know what team you think Jabari Parker going to go to. Will he stay with the Bucks because they got his rights? Or will he move on to another team because they going to pay him? Let me know in the comment section below.